um. let's. Anyway. Hello. How do you normally start a stream? Welcome to Communitas Regional News Live. My name is Rudy Vescher, and I am the person behind the screen, the person who creates all the CRN YouTube videos. I do voice acting, I do producing, I do script writing. So, yeah. Come on, Ophelia, really? That's not. It's not quite. No. Cut that out. Cut that out. Um. Anyway. Uh, so let's get on with the first thing, which I'm going to announce on Discord. Hopefully, get around to it. Anyway, hold on. Let me just do this. This has not been very fully planned, I will admit. I knew I was going to do something, but there we go. Yo, and Leslie's here. Let's go. Welcome. So, first things first, we are going to do a live watch along. Hopefully, all things going well, this should work. So let's. So I've got everything set up right when I press this button. Oh, okay, something's gone wrong. uh, hold on. Hold on, I'm just gonna see if I can. Is that why I was erroring? Ah, yes. There we go. Okay, hold on, let me just adjust this on stream. I do apologize for the jank. It's my first time doing this kind of thing. Right. There we go. Now we're all set up. uh, well, there we go. We are all set up now. So let's hopefully watch the new CRM broadcast together.
Good evening and welcome to Communitas Regional News. My name is Rudy Vischer and tonight's top stories. World Assembly election concludes as Communitas strides forward to a new era. Lithuania splits as civil war concludes. Nation states breach. What does this mean for Communitas? Security Council delays once again as meeting comes to a halt. OGM delays don't disrupt creation of Communitas broadcasting projects. And finally, RH1 year coming up. What can we expect from the head of the region? This is Communitas Regional News. Good evening. We begin tonight with our first story about the recent World Assembly delegate election. An out-of-character moment for Communitas, but one with very real implications for all the in-character decisions. 3 candidates were selected by our General Secretary Lithuania to enter the race. Communitarian states, often referred to as CWOX, who was our External Affairs Secretary, Vikarand, our Internal Affairs Secretary, and Kenneth Pathonic, our Public Safety Officer. Each of them brought different experiences, visibility, and distinct supporter bases. The process began on the 2nd of January 2026 with the announcement of a straw poll that would go ahead of the World Assembly debate. The formal World Assembly debate then followed on the 3rd of January, which was the same day the voting officially opened. The vote itself was run via a SurveyMonkey form from the 3rd through to the 6th of January, the latter of which also marks Lithuania's anniversary of joining nation-states and Communitas as a whole. The final result was announced on the 6th of January, and Communitarian States was then declared the winner and ascended to the role of WA delegate on the 11th of January. Now, let's talk numbers. The initial straw poll painted a surprisingly even picture. Results showed a split of 3 votes for Communitarian States, 3 for Kenneth Pathonic, and 3 votes for Vikarand, however, only one of which was a valid voting citizen. At the time, this was dismissed by some as speculative.
Oh, yeah. Just a quick note on this, quick correction that I noticed while I was putting this together, but I couldn't go back and re-record everything because it needed to come out now. Yeah, Vikarand didn't receive just 1 vote in the straw poll. They did receive 2 votes from citizens in the straw poll. So, yeah. Do journalism properly next time, guys. That's something that you've got to really pay attention to.
In hindsight, it was remarkably accurate. The final vote concluded with 6 votes for Communitarian States, 4 for Kenneth Pathonic, and 1 for Vikarand. Same ordering, roughly same distribution of support, just roughly doubled. To take you more in depth into the straw poll results, we now turn to the World Assembly debate, which is available on this very channel. Take it away, past Lithuania.
Okay, this bit was something that basically boosted this from being a 24-minute video to being a 50-minute video, is what I will say. So, enjoy the straw poll results, which are exactly a rehashing of the previous of the actual. This is taken from the video, so yeah. Also, just checking you can still hear my audio through my mic because I've just basically turned off my desktop audio at this point. Okay, well, I'll assume that. Yeah, I haven't seen anything, so I'll assume you're able to see it. Come on, yeah, move on. God, I really was boring, wasn't I? I really talk so slow when I'm doing this. There we go.
If you were voting for Communitarian States and it was ranked choice, if Communitarian States lost, then your votes would go to Kenneth Bathonic. If Kenneth Bathonic lost, their votes would go to Vicarand. And for the first few minutes, all the Vicarand voters were sending their votes to Communitarian States, so it was a bit of a rock paper scissors decision. However, Vicarand voters
Yeah,
do seem to be the
it's
most
just it's not
divided
really
of
working that
who
well.
votes would go to
Because you are
if
able to hear it through my
Vicarand
mic
won the
anyway. So,
election.
uh, uh,
So there is that.
goodness.
Next, we move on to the opinion polls. So we had 9 respondents for the opinion polls. Yeah, really happy. It means that I get to do some data analysis. Yeah, how does it view the core values of Communitas by voting intention? So, firstly, one of the key main questions was: is Coldplay a key part of Communitas region? Everyone responded yes, that is the case. Vicar voters slightly less polarized on the matter, which is a theme we will tend to see. Is Vicar voters tend not to be the most polarized? That tends to be kind of Bathonics voters, apart from a few key issues.
This is literally a rehashing of the video from previously. So
next one is the events are a key part of Communitas as a region. Kenneth Bathonic is the one who comes out in the lead with people agreeing, with Communitarian States actually having someone who slightly disagrees. And here we begin to see the example of Kenneth Bathonic having fairly polarized voter base. I don't really want to polarize in this situation. External relations are key part of Communitas as a region. Again, this is sort of what I was expecting. Communitarian States voters very strongly agreeing, compact being slightly more neutral, and different voters actually starting to disagree with the statement as a whole, and Kenneth Bathonic has a polarized figure. Especially the key part of Communitas as a region. Now, for the first 2 hours of the polls open, it was completely 100% agreed and very polarized. This is actually a slightly different but trend because Communitarian States voters are completely polarized on this issue and also completely agree that this issue is a key part.
news, man.
Being on nation states as being a key part of Communitas. This is where we actually see our first real debate, and a very large spread of voters, with Vicar voters tending to vote yes, it is important for us to be on nation states as a key part of Communitas. Catholic voters very split actually. Some very strongly agreeing, others very strongly disagreeing. And Communitarian states voters disagree with that statement. They think that being nation states isn't a key part of being on Communitas. Being a digital survey is a key part of Communitas as a region. Again, this is one of the ones that was very clear cut from the very start. As the candidates will note, as I've been giving constant updates on the information provided by poll, it was for a time completely 100% agree, 100% polarised. However, a few last minute changes has meant that there is now a slight unpolarization on the Vicar voter base. Again, something to see is Vicar voters tend not to be too polarized, so not a surprise there. But it just shows that digital search is clearly a key part. Polarizing means 7 or 1. should have mentioned. So it could mean you're strongly favourite, you're strongly against. So yeah, that's basically to sort of clarify how strongly someone feels or something. So relations. Analyse represent our values very, very well. Different voters, 100% in agreement with that statement, with Compass a bit more varied towards neutrality, and Communitarian States has some slight disagreement with that statement, which I was actually expecting that quite a lot. I was quite expecting Communitarian States voters to be very high on the allies and external relations sections, so to see this result is a bit of a shock. But, and on the topic of polarisation, Compass again coming through with a slightly more polarized fan base than the other ones. Then we have, I understand how our external affairs department operates. Communitarian States, this is where I started to go, yeah, this is what I would expect. Communitarian States strongly agreeing, and actually Platonic and Vicar voters tending to vote around the same, all around the same polarization levels. It's just a clear difference between Communitarian States voters and Compass and Vicar voters, so whether that will result in something in the election, we will have to see, but there are a bunch of other decisions that might be a bit more divisive. For example, the ambassadors from Communitas scheme. Yeah, people overwhelmingly said that it was a good thing. This is actually a reverse of the polarization trend, with Platonic being actually a little less polarized than the other two. Communitarian States voters and Vicar voters being just a bit polarized, and the voting opinion.
In as much as I love Past Me and I can yap for days, I think in order to get it done, to get through the live stream, we have a question. What does polarization mean here? Yeah, sorry, I'm looking at this. It's a bit of a stream lag. Yeah, polarization basically means you picked either 1 or 7 on the straw poll, which meant that you felt really strongly about a specific issue. Yeah, no, they do seem to make sense, Rooker. But yeah, no, I'm gonna skip ahead as best as I can. Come on. Jeez. Yeah. Literally, we're at the halfway point in the video, and I just now have stopped talking about about the video. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was something. Yeah.
And that is that's the result for the polls. The World Assembly debate itself appears to have had a limited impact on voting behaviour. However, Communitarian States did follow up shortly afterwards with a set of additional questions and clarifications that were asked during the debate, a move that may have helped consolidate undecided voters on the nation-state's side. Exact timing on when Communitarian States followed up is unclear due to a nation-state's outage, but more on that later.
Yeah, so I genuinely forgot when I was writing this when the follow-up happened, because I remember it happened like either on the first or the second day of voting, but I couldn't remember which one was which, and so instead of saying something that was genuinely untrue, I basically said, yeah, no, I can't. Am I? Oh, I'm muted. I'm muted right now. Yeah, no, I forgot about that part. Yeah, I had to turn down my volume. Yeah, no. Yeah, well, when I was saying this, when I was writing this, I basically forgot when the telegram was sent out. Oh boy, you can tell there's jank in this live stream. Anyway, it would make better sense if I had a pair of headphones, but I don't currently. So, oh well. But yeah, no. Instead of basically fumbling and doing something inaccurate like I did with the previous mistake, I basically just elected to say I can't find the information. Nation states is out at the moment. Sorry. But yeah. Now let's get back on the video.
The vote itself had an interesting early trajectory. In the first 24 hours, Coneth Bethonic led with 4 votes, Communitarian States followed closely on 3, while Vicarand received her sole vote during this initial period. Then, the momentum shifted. Within the next 24 hours, Communitarian States gained 3 additional votes, pulling decisively ahead. After that, the vote simply stopped moving. Now, this election report would be incomplete without commenting on the clear Discord discourse. Former World Assembly delegate JACJ made their support unmistakably clear, repeatedly posting the phrase #CWOX4WAD throughout the server. This likely didn't win many favours, nobody likes spam, but it did succeed in doing one thing. It ignited discussion. Discussion which has brought attention to what has been dubbed the Compath fanbase, a group of relatively new citizens who openly declared their support for Communitas Pythonic. Narodovia, Idlezi, who had their WA nation reinstated, and Tavalia, who all publicly stated their intention to vote for Compath, lending legitimacy and visibility to his campaign. Meanwhile, on the opposite side of the coin, Vikerund appeared to bow out of the race early, at least rhetorically. Public messages from the candidate included statements such as, "I don't think I got a chance, mate," and also, "got to back home, girl." This
Hi guys, I forgot how to use OBS. Yeah, so question from Brooker saying, or statement from Brooker saying, I don't think Lazy could vote. Actually, because they instituted their lost Camelos account and managed to get it to be the WA nation, they were effectively able to support, endorse, and do all the proper things for the election. So we played it hard and fast. I'm pretty sure Leslie was one of the voters, as both Rudy Vischer and also as the person who was, running the election. um, yeah, there's probably going to be a bit more rigor when it comes to the next election. But yeah, I will try and remember to unmute next time I want to pause and make commentary. Like I said, this is you can tell that I've only just streamed like once in my life before, and that was a very, very sort of different kind of stream. Anyway,
may have further enforced the perception that the contest had in fact narrowed to a two-horse race. In the end, Communitarian states emerged victorious. From straw poll to final ballot, their support proved both stable and scalable. The World Assembly now has a new delegate, and Communitas enters its next chapter with a familiar but even more empowered voice at the table.
okay, so I've remembered to unmute this time. So how CRN normally works is obviously you've got the stories, and yeah, so normally what I would do is I would record all this in one room, but because of the fact that I decided that canonically, well, actually, you'll see it later down the line. You'll see why I'm not in the normal newsroom. I decided to try it differently and tried splitting it up into different segments, see if that helped with the rendering time. It didn't really help. Ophelia McManus asks, what were the final vote counts? So it was, the final vote was 6 votes in Communitarian State's favour, 4 votes in favour of Communitas Pythonic, and 1 vote in favour of Vikerund. So yeah, it was pretty close between Communitas Pythonic and Communitarian States, but it wasn't like, yeah, as I said in the video, the vote basically stopped moving after 48 hours. So it was pretty much decided from the Monday that the Communitarian States would become the leader of Communitas.
For our next story, we go now live outside Legislature Hall. Cast your mind.
Oh yeah, this was a funny thing that I tried for this one was going on location. I yeah it's I tell me what you think once you've watched it. But it's interesting. You can see the Lithochechnian flags in the background there. It's yeah, they're just what like yeah here and here. I had fun making this set. Uh,
Back to the July 1969 elections. At this time, they were framed as routine, procedural, another step in Lithochechnia's democratic process. In hindsight, they were anything but. 8 candidates were submitted across 8 of Lithochechnia's 15 districts. Among them, one name stood out immediately: Ivan Kirkov, representing the Lithochechnian Radical Expansionist Party, the LCRE. Given the LCRE's status as a far-right extremist movement, the submission of an official candidate shocked many observers. It was the first serious attempt by the group to enter formal politics. But, as per electoral law, not all candidates proceed to the final ballot. In a process resembling a primary system in many other nations, the 2 highest elected officials, the elected general administrator and the chairperson for the representation of the people, are tasked with narrowing the field as close to 3 candidates as possible. The final selection was announced shortly after. Ulda Eriksson of the EPI party, Savas Mikhaili of the Workers' Union Party, and the independent Melina Abel. Kirkov was reportedly not one of the main candidates. The LCRE reacted immediately with outrage. They accused the electoral leadership of political censorship, claiming the democratic process had been deliberately manipulated to exclude them. But what followed would change the course of the nation entirely. Investigators soon uncovered.
I will just say, my throat was absolutely gone from this. um, as for why they say radical extremists, listen, LCRE does what LCRE does. I can't stop them. Lithochechnia probably could, but I can't stop them. Anyway.
Evidence that the LCRE had attempted to bribe Chairlady Viatella Gray. Notably, the EGA, Stefan Vischer, was never approached, seemingly considered incorruptible by the organisation. Chairlady Gray immediately, however, informed the EGA. Both officials agreed the interference could not be allowed, and so the election proceeded, and the result was decisive. Ulda Eriksson won with an overwhelming 89.7% of this vote. The next closest candidate, for reference, Melina Abel, secured just 5.4%. For many, this was the democracy functioning as intended. For the LCRE, however, it was the final proof, in their eyes, that the system was closed to them. Shortly after the election, the LCRE made their move. Declaring independence from Lithochechnia, they launched an armed campaign across several western districts. Key cities fell quickly. Resistance movements formed just as fast, but with little funding, poor equipment, and no central coordination, the LCRE, focusing on holding territory rather than expanding it, held a significant strategic advantage. The government did not call it a civil war. Unofficially, everyone else in the world did. The administration adopted what critics later described as a head-in-the-sand approach, choosing not to engage and in doing so, pretending the conflict wasn't happening. Large portions of the Lithochechny population, lacking access to independent reporting and having a large body of water in the way, never heard about many of the clashes at all. And then, on the 21st of November 1969, something dramatic occurred. A small, shadowy group, whose identity remains the subject of rumour and speculation to this day, breached an LCRE bunker in Grafnik. Inside, they killed Ernst Schneider, the leader of the LCRE. Sadly, it did not end the conflict. Within a week, Stenmargi assumed leadership, issuing a defiant statement stating, quote, despite...
Okay, so something I just want to mention on this, and I've just figured out a way that I'm able to actually do this without having to mute every 10 seconds. So Jank has been sorted. But yeah, so a little bit on this, on the previous bit. I believe uh, the whole thing has been slightly given away by who posted the story, and I'm not going to say what actually has happened, but there have been so many rumors in Lithochechnia and across the world actually of who actually killed Aaron Schneider, um, and yeah, quite literally talk shit, get banned. Yeah, quite literally. Also, whoops. I don't know if my YouTube channel is ever going to get monetized on this one. So, good news, guys. Using an auxiliary channel means that I don't swear on my main. Oh boy.
Our leader dying, we will survive. Cut off one head, two more will take its place. Terrifying stuff. Skirmishes continued. Reports remained scarce. And then, in early March of 1971, observers around the world noticed something unusual. From the 3rd of March, Algerian forces began withdrawing from several of the border regions, consolidating.
Yeah, I actually commented on this in the last broadcast. It was the reason I was able to go back into work. I say back into work. I wasn't actually allowed fully into the studio. We were allowed in there and then escorted promptly out because that was actually behind the lines. But my house wasn't. I was able to record safely from my house, so hence why you got the last YouTube broadcast, guys.
Instead along a newly more fortified, tighter defended line. A strategic retreat, a deliberate attempt to lull us into a false sense of security. On the 21st of March, Waldar Eriksson, the man elected by nearly 90% of voters, was assassinated by an LCRE agent. An emergency election was called. This time, due to the recently passed emergency voting record, the candidate filtering process was abandoned entirely. And on the 25th of March, Sanjo Bolkfadze, one of the Lithochechnian.
One of the only times they're actually going to get me to pronounce that name. Hmm? What do you mean Vico killed I'm a bit confused by that question there. Vico didn't kill Legislature Hall. It was, you know, it was definitely Aaron Schneider. They got too hungry. Yeah, that's about right. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, Sandro. You're never getting me to pronounce his last name again. He's the one-day president for a reason. So, speaking of, I actually need to announce his impeachment at some point. Spoiler alert. Yeah, he's not very popular at this point.
Idealist protectorates was elected. A day later, Bolkfadze signed a 5-point plan. His contents remain unseen by the public, but what is known is this: all sides are bound by all 5 points, and the first point concerns territorial cessions. Citizens within the newly defined borders were given just 3 days to evacuate before those territories became a new nation. Among the displaced, the Communitarian States Consulate and our very newsroom, which is why tonight our Rudy Vicious broadcast comes to you from our studio of our sister company, the CBBC.
Okay, a little bit of context on what I'm about to say next. So next, I say located in Legislature City. What I mean by that is one of their offices is located in Legislature City. I'm pretty sure their main headquarters is located in Communitarian States. It's a Communitarian States company, etc. But yeah, editorial notes from Rudy Vischer, having gone through and watched the video and realized, oh damn, there's a lot of mistakes in this.
Located in Legislature City, kindly loaned while we recover. The story of the Civil War is one of ballots, bullets, and borders being redrawn. Back to you in the studio, Rudy. Thank you. Our next story is another out-of-character story affecting every nation who was watching tonight. Nation-states, the platform on which our entire community exists, has suffered a serious
security breach. At around 10 p.m. of British time on the 27th of January 2026, nation-state staff received a report from a player who had discovered a critical vulnerability in the site's code. While testing that vulnerability, the player went beyond authorized limits, gaining access.
Okay, so another thing here, I noticed it when I was going back. I should have specified allegedly, because looking back over the report, it wasn't actually verified that they had literally copied everything. But yeah, reporting. It's called going back and going back and checking your mistakes and then going, oh, I should print a correction. And I will print a correction once this has been fully watched, and once the stream's over. Because, yeah.
Access to the main production server and copying application code and user data to their personal system. This individual was not a staff member and had never been granted privileged access. They were, however, a known bug reporter, previously credited with a bug hunter badge for responsible disclosures dating back to 2021. In this case, in the eyes of nation-states, the line between reporting and breached was quite firmly crossed. Nation-states has confirmed that the compromised data includes email addresses, including historical ones, passwords stored as MD5 hashes, IP addresses which were used to log in, and browser user agent data. The site does not collect real names, home addresses, phone numbers, or payment information, and that data was not exposed because it simply does not exist. Now, while the attacker did not gain direct access to the server storing Telegram data, they did exploit access to it and attempted to copy part of its contents, and nation-state does consider it likely that some Telegram data was exposed. The vulnerability has originated from a new feature called Dispatch Search, which was introduced in September of 2025. Due to insufficient sanitation of user input combined with a double parsing error, the attacker was able to achieve remote command execution, allowing them to effectively run commands directly on the nation-state server. This is, apparently, the first incident of its kind in nation-state's history.
That I was able to find in my very brief, 5-minute Google search, should clarify that. There probably has been several attacks in the past of similar scale and magnitude, but none that really affected nation-states in this way. I could be completely talking out my ass here, both now and also in the video. Journalism's hard, man. Journalism is just difficult.
In response, nation-states has taken the site offline and begun a full rebuild. That includes notifying users and the relevant authorities, rebuilding servers on new hardware, conducting a full software audit, hardening systems.
I just realised you can hear my phone vibrating. You can actually hear it. That's... Maybe we should turn on Do Not Disturb when I'm recording these.
To prevent similar exploits, and upgrading password security to a modern hashing standard. A plan for reopening the site is currently being developed. However, once nation-states is back online, users with registered email addresses will be able to reset their passwords. Access for nations without registered emails is still currently under review and will be reported on in due course. In a statement released shortly after the incident, nation-states creator Max Barry acknowledged the seriousness of the breach, thanked the community for its patience, and confirmed that the only responsible response was a complete system rebuild. His closing message was quite simple. Thanks for bearing with us. We'll be back as soon as we can. This outage has already affected regions, debates, and other regional activity, including stories we've mentioned earlier tonight. We at CRN, as well as those in Rainbow House, will continue to bring you updates as the nation-states works towards reopening. That's all for now. We'll see you after the break.
Right. Okay. Just so this stream doesn't get copyrighted, I am going to mute because there is copyrighted audio here. The advertisements will still play, because we might as well get the ads over and done with. But yeah, so on that second story, the Litho checked in Civil War, I did not anticipate it was going to take that long. Just want to get opinions on, what does everyone think? Should I do more live on the scene broadcasts? Oh, thank you for pointing that out, Leslie. Yeah, the ambassador thing. I basically just keep recycling the same old things, um, including this, the Writers Collective, which is yeah, and Tinga, yeah, yeah. It is a bit outdated. Um, so I'm glad. I'm so glad that we don't have the external affairs secretary in this live stream at all. That we can, that they're definitely not going to make any make any comments about that at all. Yeah, I say the EA sec as though the previous one's bad. This one's also to do with the EA sec as well, but for a different reason because yeah, writers collective. Hey, President of Tinga, Writers Collective. It's definitely very interesting, and it's definitely still functional. Definitely not a defunct organization. Oh, this I'm actually going to unmute for this one because we get a surprise guest in the next one.
We are recruiting. After the recent events that Communitas has gone through, we in Rainbow House are making efforts to increase citizen participation. We are delighted to again remind every citizen of the Council's initiative. Are you a creative individual who likes to roleplay? Why not apply for this Roleplay Council to help build Civitas and make sure everyone's having fun? The Roleplay Council is in charge of planning future events from Civitas, moderating it and running it, working alongside the Internal Affairs Secretary, which is currently myself, and the cartographer, which is, at the time of recording this, Friesland. Or are you more of a bright smile and a friendly face? Why not apply for the Moderation Council to ensure everyone's happy and following the rules? Mod Council are in charge of Mod Council are in charge of upholding the rules and justice, watching the nation state's RMB and general assistance towards the IAS, such as the posting question of the day. Or can you not make up your mind? Why not apply to both? We're looking for dedicated volunteers who really want to make a difference, and any effort which can be provided to Rainbow House is well appreciated. The region will benefit from you. If we all do our part, we will develop faster and smoother, and we will run well. You will also get perks of being part of the government team, which include a separate role, a separate cool role, and you get free DMs with us too, I guess. And it could also lead to higher up positions. So you should apply today. Either contact myself or Elsie, the current General Secretary, and you will get a link to the application form. You can also find it in the announcements channel.
Now we take you live outside the...
Oh, I did not realize that. That's there's a bit of an error there. Hold on, I just need
For the
to.
latest, we're...
Okay. Whoops. There was a bit of an error there. The video is a bit corrupted. It's fine. It's all part of the jank. It's all part of the jank. Yeah. Green. Because actually, if I go back to here, you can actually see lovely, lovely background. It's what I do to all my backgrounds. And if you actually look at the April 2025, April 1st CRN, you'll actually see that the background hasn't been changed. It's all green because the whole thing is basically is a sort of joke recording of like this is what's happened. Oh no, Rudy Vischer's been shot. It's dusk. I think I actually don't know what direction that's facing in the game. I think that might be facing west or it might be facing east. I can't remember. Anyway, back to where we were. Yeah, there should be audio here. There's not. It's all a lie. It's all a green screen. Hopefully this next one works. Oh,
Thank you, Rudy. Yes, I am standing just outside the Security Council complex, where discussions
oh, for the love of all that is holy! What is this?
are. Delegates have been reminded in session for weeks, reviewing existing proposals, procedural motions, and reiterating positions already well documented. The only new development to report is the submission of a fresh paper by the nation of Tavalia, which has now been formally introduced to the floor for review. Details on its contents remain unclear at this stage, although sources inside the chamber suggest it will be debated at length. Rudy. Sorry, I just need to clarify something. There's a handwritten note in the script margin that reads, Sleepy EP smooth-brained vicar of internal affairs, please, for the love of God. End RP. Is this an editorial change, Rudy?
Oh, yeah, no, sorry, yeah, that's mine.
Right. I mean this most respectfully, but this type of wording does not reflect the quality of content we normally have, nor Security Council.
Oh my god, this is so janked.
No, that's right, it's not. It's a personal note.
To a sitting official?
No. It's to a godlike entity dictating our every move from behind a computer screen.
What?
Don't worry about it. It's an occupational hazard.
Rudy, are you
Fully aware that this is a fictional construct and that I'm the only one allowed to acknowledge this fact on air? Yes, absolutely.
Oh my goodness, the jank
How
is.
about you just continue reading
We've
on the
solved
page?
the jank
Don't
on the
worry
stream.
about it.
We now have the jank on the video. Oh no.
Yes, of course. As I was saying, despite the ongoing nature of the talks, there have been growing concerns among observers that the Security Council's prolonged session is stalling broader regional decision making. Whether Tavalia's proposal will break the deadlock remains to be seen. For now, the Council remains in session still.
Thank you very much for that update, Richard. And to Vikrant, come on, get a move on, please. This homophobia-eyed Diplodocus eagerly awaits your next move. Ball's in your court now. Our next story concerns something a little different, and dare I say
Oh
it,
my god,
something
this
genuinely
is.
exciting.
What has happened to this video? This video is just gone. I apologise. I guess we're going to have to end the watch party early, and I'm going to have to work on re-uploading this in a week's time because I am busy for the next week. Yeah. Yeah. Hold on. This is gonna work. Yep. Okay. I just need to readjust this. So apologies for that. If you want to go and watch the rest of it, please feel free to. But like I said, it's got a bit of a mistake in, so oh yeah. Yeah. The advertisement was I should have no. I'll tell you what destroyed the video. It was me putting that stupid WA debate segment in because I had to move everything around for it, and it's probably become out of sync. We love OBS and we love Clipchamp. Anyway, so you've watched the video, you've seen what I say and how I say it. Hopefully, hopefully I can fix that. It should just be a simple thing of just restitching all the videos together in Clipchamp because, yeah. Anyway, how do I write for CRN? And how does CRN work? Well, let's begin with the Writers Collective, which is something that was brought up in the video as an advertisement. The Writers Collective is basically the team that's supposed to help me with writing CRN, and I do get a few stories here and there from people within this Writers Collective. I do also outsource to other users, for example, to Vikrand, who provided 2 of the stories for the last broadcast. I know that Communitas States has written a few stories for me in the past when they were running the show. And we have also a bunch of other Writers Collective stuff, for example, The Herald, which is run by our very own Western Union. But I mainly focus on script and CRN broadcasting. So what happens is I will then, during the month, write the stuff that happens. So, for example, if I were going to do next month's one, I would probably talk about the RH 1-year anniversary and whatever happened there. Potentially new LC elections. Security Council conclusion, maybe. It depends if Vikrand can, get up out of bed and actually type a few words here and there. What else? Nation states back up. Yeah, and basically, that's what I'll do is I will list off the stuff that I need to write about for this month. What's wrong, Vikrand? You appear a bit triggered by my previous sentence. Oh, do I need to say it slow? Right. You type Security Council finished. Security Council done, yeah? I don't know why you're impeaching me. I am CRN. I am Rudy Vischer of the CRN channel. Yeah, you are just, the reason why we're antagonistic is last video, literally, Vikrand decided to send us a lovely letter. Stating that I was a quote homophobia-eyed diplodocus. Listen, okay, I've put contacts in, so now my eyes are just one color. Okay, please stop calling me a homophobia-eyed diplodocus. Okay, it's not nice. That's not a nice thing to say. You sleepy, EP, smooth-brained individual. Anyway, moving on. So I come up with the stuff that homophobia. Yeah, it's because of heterochromia. There's a meme that Vikrand attached to the image. That actually, can I get it up? Hold on. Let me just. Hold on. There's an image somewhere. I think we lost the plot. Yeah, no, the plot was very, very firmly lost. Beautiful cat with home. Yeah, that's. Here it is. Right, copy image. This is the image that I was sent. There we go. I'll paste it twice. There we go. That is the image that I was sent when I was sent that script. I don't know what you want from me. This is literal. You are being ableist. This is just because I have genetic differences does not mean that you're allowed to comment on them and insult them and say that I am a diplodocus because of them. Okay. Anyway, back on with the plot before we get even more distracted. Um, yeah. So I have the list of the items that I will write about, and I will sometimes post about them to the Writers Collective if I need help. If I don't, I can write them on my own. What I will do is I will then pick one. Let's say the new Lithochecnian elections, because for some reason I have been able to premonish what's going to happen. I will then create a little bullet point list of stuff that I need to address. So I'll go March 26th. Sandro was posed by SCHR. March 27th. New election announced. March 28th. Candidates selected. And then April 1st. Winner announced. Because, yeah. And then I'll talk about any extra information. And for example, in the Lithochecnian election that's going to happen, very few candidates actually run. Well, they're run by the districts because that's how Lithochecnia works. But very few candidates actually run, and the result is actually very decisive. Vikrand, mind your business, okay? You cannot get the end of a Security Council right, and the OGM. Let's just check when that was due to be released, guys. Let's just check when the OGM was due to be released. Hey, look, guys! Look! Look, it says to be released in January. Yeah, OGM has no scuffs. Don't care. At least I follow my upload schedule. Let's ignore the fact where I went on break for 6 months. Yeah, fun. Hey, first of the month. Whenever I post, it's the first month, apart from the time where I post on the 14th of the fourth month or the middle of August. Actually, no, I didn't post in the middle of August. No, I posted on the 2nd of May. That's what I posted. But I have a semi-regular upload schedule. The break was just me having to deal with life. Anyway, yeah, so I'll have that written out, and then I will start drafting a script. And normally I won't actually write that much. Um, I'll just write the generics of what I want to say. Um, so like general distaste in LC for Sandro, deposed within like few hours. I'm pretty sure. Oh, disposed. No, it's depots, isn't it? I was about to say, can't fucking type. This stream is so much scuff. But it is what it is. I upload, I'm regular, I'm consistent. And no one can convince me otherwise. But yeah, depose within a few hours. And then what I'll do is I'll then get up my phone, I'll get up Samsung voice recorder, and I will then I'll then start talking to the mic. I'll go, for our next story, we turn now to one of Lithuanian national elections. In March of fuck me, I can't speak. It's fine because I can stutter any time I like because I can cut this out in the inevitable recording. We turn now to elections in Lithuania. On the 25th of March, 1971, Sandro Bogvadze was elected to the position of president. One day later, he made the very unpopular decision to sign the 5-point plan with what is now become Nova Litho Union. Immediately, within a few hours of signing this treaty, Sandro was deposed by the SCHR, the head of the government in Lithuania. However, unfortunately, because what the president signs is law, we are stuck now with the Nova Litho Union. This has led Sandro's reputation to go down as the president who could not. He was in power for just over 24 hours and folded the nation in half cleanly. On March the 27th, the new election was announced with certain candidates from several different elections. And then so on and so forth. And I'll continue that on. I'll get the full script done. And then what happens? And this is the really, really fun part. I'm going to see if I can just bear with while I get this up. Hold on. I can show you how I record my videos. It's a very fun thing. Just loading up my recording software. Might think LCRE is good actually. Huh. Interesting. That's interesting to hear. Just reading the chat while it's getting up. Just delay me going to hellfire. Depose, make more. No, we're not making any more mods here. This is my second channel. Might. Fair. Right. Preparing. His internet is collapsing. No, I don't think. Is anyone's internet collapsing? That might be my internet, to be fair. Oh, great. Fun. Oh no. I guess I can't show you. Does this fix the issue potentially? I've tried closing Minecraft. No. Oh, what is that? Well done. Oh, that's why I'm muted. Okay. Yeah. Somewhat not lagging. Okay, that's better. Um, yeah, so it turns out I can't show you Minecraft because my computer decided to shit itself whenever I try and bring it up. Fun. Anyway, in which case, we might as well move to that's better. The next item on the list, which is interviews. Woo! So what's going to happen is, if I could just get it up. Okay, so I'm just going to see about this. Just setting up some stuff. Don't worry. Oh boy. There we go. All right. Whole lot of jank here, but it is what it is. Hopefully that loaded. Okay. So let's get on with the first interview. Oh, yes, I'm a human. Damn, it really thinks I'm not a human, huh? There we go. All right. Hello. Oh, hello.
What's
You able to hear me, or is this? Hold on. Oh, it's just because my microphone's in use. Hold on. Uh,
I don't believe I can hear you on Discord, and
yeah, I'm just trying
I
to. Okay, so I'm just. There is so much jank in this. I apologize to all those watching. Um, yeah, I'm just trying to see if I can disable. No, the reason you can't hear me on stream is I'm muted on there. I'm trying to see if I can unmute myself. Um, oh, for the love of all that is holy, why is this not working? Scuff, so much scuff. Oh boy. Oh, audio properties. Right. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to see if I can. Yeah, I mean you are live on stream, I believe, Western Union. So if you want to say stuff, then that's completely up to you. I can't stop you there. How do I turn off my? Oh, great.
Uh, Hello there. I can still hear you. I wonder if the stream can hear me. Now seems like the perfect time to play a lot of annoying soundboards. Perfect.
Can can you still hear me?
I can hear you.
Cool. And the stream can hear me. Yay! Fixed it. Woo!
Yay.
Oh boy. Scuff.
This
Scuff.
is perfect.
Scuff. Well, yeah, welcome to the first of hopefully a few interviews, depending on if I can get other people to do interviews. Um, Today we are interviewing Western Union. Woo!
Hello.
Hello, Western Union. Now you correct me if I'm wrong. You are the External Affairs Secretary.
I agree with that.
You are the Vice President for CRN,
Yes.
and also you hold offices in other nations, in other regions, rather.
No, I not currently. No. The presidency in Tinga doesn't exist anymore, and
Right.
uh yeah, that was that.
Yes. Nope. Yeah. So yeah, you used to, but now you do not. Okay. Um. So one of the reasons that I wanted to interview you is you are the primary author of a lovely little thing called the Herald, which existed for a while. Um. Can you tell us a bit more about it?
Oh yes, the Herald should be coming back soon. I just have to um do something. I have to do journalism. And it's currently in a different form than it was originally. It was a continuation of a thing that a community had, the Community Herald. Um, and it was the in Community and the first iteration in Communitas. It was like a supposed to be like um, a monthly publication of just a summary of events. Um,
Yes.
and that's I think we had 3 different issues in Communitas with its Herald here before switching to a different format because things did quiet down a little bit.
Yeah. Yes. That I seem to remember happening. Yep. Okay. Um, Now, obviously, you write the CRN Herald or the Herald. Um, Technically, actually, I say the CRN Herald. It wasn't actually under CRN initially, as you quite rightly pointed out. It was a continuation of something from Community. But over the time, you have become a bit more involved in with CRN and the Writers Collective, which is another thing that was mentioned. Would you like to talk about that?
Oh yes, the Writers Collective. I think membership includes you and me at this point.
Yep.
However,
There are
applications are open.
Yeah, there are other people who exist. For example, Communitarian States is a
Oh,
is
non-RH members.
oh yeah, well, Autophage
Once we
existed for a
start,
while, but
yeah, they're not active anymore.
yeah, their activity dropped. But yeah, so
Um,
the Writers Collective. Can you tell the stream a bit about what the Writers Collective actually do?
okay, so the Writers Collective, there's 3 different areas that it can operate in. It can author articles for the Herald. It can help with the video production, but that is mostly under the realm of LC. And there is also a website that isn't currently maintained.
Uh,
That is
yeah, no, I don't think that the
in
website.
character.
Yeah, the website hasn't been maintained since March.
I
Oh,
think
sorry,
there's a total of a
February.
grand total of 1 article on that website.
No, there's two. There's two articles. There's one on the Umbrathorian nuking of Lithotechnia, and then there's one on the Security Council to do with the Umbrathorian nuking of Lithotechnia. So yeah. Ugh. But yeah, so obviously the Writers Collective
And
helps write. Sorry, you were going to say something?
nah,
No? Okay. So the Writers Collective helps to write the Herald and CRN. Um, when you're writing the Herald, what's your normal go-to strategy for doing that?
um, you see, I don't have a good strategy right now. I just kind of have been writing things when they come up and hoping that it works out, and it's worked out. So
Fair enough. And what sort of stuff do you tend to focus on mainly when you're writing the Herald?
the Herald does mostly exist out of character. So while the CRN kind of is a blend, but mostly leans in character, and I think the website is kind of um, in some form a in character thing. The Herald focuses on nation states stuff. Uh, there's an article in the works about the election that we had that I need to finish up.
Yep.
There's and just other stuff, and there might soon be other kinds of regular articles I hope to put together.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. Is there anything else you want to particularly discuss surrounding? Well, actually, let's move on to your work in Rainbow House. Now, obviously, I am acting here as Rudy Vesha, so I cannot ask you to divulge any secret information. Obviously, anything confidential. Um, please don't do that without express permission from the General Secretary, the World Assembly Delegate, and all the other people. But are there any projects that you can hint to that you would like to potentially give some inkling of what's going on to the wider community?
Let me check if there's anything I can share at the moment.
Okay.
I think we will be working on. Oh, just one thing that I think I can say. We will be working on expanding the ambassadorial corps, and ensuring that it's operating smoothly. That's one thing that I think the rest of the external affairs thing does want to get running properly.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. And finally, we'll give you a bit of a second to do some promotional advertising, discuss whatever you would like. I'll give you a few minutes to do whatever.
I mean, you should join. The viewers should join the ambassadorial corps. It'll be fun.
Fair enough.
I don't know what else to say.
That's completely fair. Um, in which case, um, thank you for joining us,
You
Western
can
Union.
discuss with regions like Tinga.
Thank you for joining us, Western Union.
You're welcome.
Goodbye. Right. Now, currently, one of our next interviewers is unavailable, so I'm going to see if I can find someone else. Hold on, just gonna. Give me a second. Okay. So interviewing is unfortunately going to be the end. That interview was very nice, but that brings us to the end of the first ever Communitas Regional News Live. Hopefully, next time that I do this, it won't be as scuffed, and the actual video will be not scuffed, and I can actually sort out all the tech issues beforehand. Um, but yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Yeah, be on the lookout for a re-upload. Um, it's going to happen shortly once I can actually fix the issues in the actual video. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. See ya.